So when I first found out that Allen Edmonds was offering black marbled shell for their 2021 trunk show, I couldn't have been more excited, and this was a huge surprise. While the color is intentionally made to have a lot of unpredictable variation, the samples that I had seen mostly were the color olive or some shade of green and yellow. And being a huge fan of olive shoes, this gave me what I saw as a once in a lifetime opportunity to get a pair of shell strands in a mostly olive color. But of course, it would depend on some luck because there was a lot of variation that could happen with this color. I generally think of it as watermelon shell because there's often hints of yellow, orange, sometimes red, and even blue, although my pair does not contain any blue. And there's also potential for a lot of black, which is not what I wanted. So in other words, the marbled black is a big risk because you don't know how it's going to turn out. So I decided to take that risk because I thought the reward would be worth it. So was it worth it to take that risk? In most ways, yes. I was blown away with how beautiful they were. This is without a doubt the most interesting shoe in my entire collection, even more so than the Alligator Park Avenues, which were the rarest. I almost don't want to wear them because they are so nice, but I don't like to keep shoes as museum objects, so of course I'm going to wear them. And how would I choose to pair these? Well, just like with the regular bottled green shell, they will work well with any kind of gray slacks. But this olive color is actually a little more versatile because you could wear it with other casual options that you could not wear the green shell with. One other interesting minor change I noticed is that Allen Edmonds has once again changed the insole, modified it only slightly. And I should say that I wasn't a big fan when AE changed the logo on the insole. I thought it looked really nice in the past. But sometime around 2018, they changed to this very long logo, which I think just looks too loud and obvious. And I can just hear some of you saying, what does it matter because it's on the inside of the sole? And you're right, it really doesn't matter, but I just prefer the way it looked before. But if it were up to me, I would take this really nice logo on the outsole and I would stamp that on the insole. It would look great. These came with the black laces, and I think they look great, and I probably won't change them because they match the sole perfectly. But if you wanted to, you could experiment with various types of green laces. Now, having said all of this, not everything about this order went as I had hoped. Firstly, the sole, while being a very nice JR sole, I mean, who would complain about a JR sole, right? Well, it was supposed to be a black Dainite. That's what I ordered. The reason I wanted Dainite is because I live in an area where we get considerable rain, and it would have been nice to use them in that sort of environment. But another more important reason is that I really wanted a pour-on insole, which AE includes in their Dainite shoes, and I was told was going to be put into my shoes. As I get older, my toes appreciate the pour-on insoles more and more, especially if I'm doing a lot of walking. And another reason I chose black Dainite is because there was no option in this trunk show for a natural type of sole. I would have went with natural because I thought that would have looked best, but the black welt and the black sole was the only option, so I just chose to go with Dainite. I think it would have been nice if AE would have allowed us to customize the soles like they used to, but the point here is that I was content with having a black Dainite sole. The reason this disappointed me so much is because this was unfortunately not the first time this has happened to me. It's happened twice in the past. Both times previously it happened with a sole issue. I ordered a pair of Bourbon shell Strands in 2019, and when I received them it was a totally different sole. So they sent me a replacement, but then the replacement was wrong again. So after this happened, I just asked them if I could keep them as factory seconds because I hate to see shell material go to waste like this. Allen Edmonds agreed, so it worked out okay, but it wasn't ideal for what I originally wanted. Having this be the third time that this has happened, it has convinced me that I'm no longer going to be purchasing first quality shell shoes from their trunk shows. I will still consider other non-shell trunk shows like CAF or CXL, and I'll be happy to consider any factory seconds that come from the trunk shows, but this is just too much money to buy a first quality shoe and have these mistakes happen over and over again. And I should also point out that this current pair of black marbled Strands, it's not like I would ever consider returning them because they are so beautiful, and it's highly unlikely that I would receive a new pair that looked anywhere near as perfect as these do, so it wouldn't make any sense to return them. So on one hand, these are the most exciting shoes that I own from Allen Edmonds, and I'm very pleased with how the uppers turned out. The JR sole looks beautiful too. But on the other hand, AE has yet to show me that they can follow any of the orders correctly, so I'm going to hold off on future trunk shows, at least for now. I'm not trying to sound overly critical here about Allen Edmonds. I'm obviously a huge fan of the company. I've made about 20 videos praising their shoes. But I'm also not going to be dishonest with the viewers of this video. I'm going to try to be as unbiased as I can, even though I obviously have a huge love for their shoes. I am not affiliated with AE, and I'm not selling anything on this channel. I'm just a guy who likes to review their shoes, and I'm going to try to be as honest as I can with my viewers. So in my next video, I'm going to be doing something different. I'm going to be looking at Fiebings edge dressing and see how well it performs on a couple of AE soles. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.